better can't cook. Think you know you pay your pretty look. You want to live a restaurant and come done man bank book. Cook, recipe book. One in the kitchen cause you and them no look. You better cook.
Hey there, and thanks for joining me on yet another great video on lentils and fish tea soup. Here I will show you the steps in order to accomplish this wonderful beneficial soup. Enjoy.
Guys, so here I just have some water boiling. To that I'm going to be adding some onion that's been diced, some carrots, and some celery. I'm also going to be adding some garlic, minced garlic, ginger, chicken base. I'll put that on later on. Rosemary, parsley, garlic powder, and onion powder. Those are the main ingredients for now, as well as you'll need some tuna and some lentils. Yeah, so to start building your stock, you're gonna start by putting in these fresh ingredients, which is your onion, your carrots, and your celery. And we'll let that come to a boil. And this is how you start when you're making stock from scratch. I mean, if you don't want to buy the one in the box, you'd usually boil a few fresh vegetables until you get it boiled out, and then you'd go from there as stock. But I build my own. While that's on a rolling boil, so it can become more of a concentrated veggie blend for the soup, I'm going to be mixing some dumplings. So in here, I just have some flour, a touch of salt, and some sugar. And I'm just going to be adding some, not lukewarm, but more cool water to this. And I'm going to mix it into a dough for some dumplings. And I'll just be adding that into that boiling bubble that you see and you saw just now. So I got my dough rolled up really nicely. I'm going to just be separating it and rolling it into a small wheel, like a small roll, and then I'm going to be slicing it into the pot. I don't need a lot of dumpling. It's not a very big pot of soup, it's a smaller pot. But yeah, I was going to mention that for diabetic or people that are highly sensitive to salt, this would be the base of starting that soup. Without any salt, you wouldn't add any. So I'm just adding the last of my dumplings. They're really small, as you can see, tiny. I just cut them up and add them in. So the last of them are in there. The only thing I'm going to add at this point is about 2 tablespoons of bovril, which is a concentrate of chicken bouillon. And that's just because I don't have to be mindful of any, salt. I'm also going to be adding some crushed red pepper. This is optional as well. I do like my food with a bit of a hint of a kick. I didn't put much, as you can see. It's going to be about half a teaspoon worth of crushed chili flakes that I put in here. And then I'm going to give it a nice little stir and let that boil for about 10 minutes so the dumpling can cook a bit. And then we'll add more. Now I could have made my lentils from scratch, however I didn't need to because I had some that was canned and I didn't feel like actually going through all that cooking time, so I opted to cheat and I got a can of lentils. Now I put it all in there because this is lentils in water. It's not in any brine. This particular brand has it in water. And yeah, so I'm just going to disperse that around in my soup now. And my soup has developed into a boil again, so everything's hot. Mind you, my dumplings been cooking for about 10 to 15 and they're super small, so it doesn't take long. My carrots went in first, celery went in, so I know those are pretty tender. And I just put in the lentils maybe 4 or 5 minutes ago. So the last thing I'm going to do is add in the tuna. And yes, definitely add in the water because there's a lot of protein. So now that I added the tuna, as you can see, it's just all sitting in the middle here. I'm not going to be pressing it out. I have the stove on a medium fire. And I'm just going to let this flavor of this tuna I just put in integrate and do its thing to flavor this lentil soup. I'm just going to let that boil on medium fire for the next 5 to 10 minutes, checking it occasionally. And this soup will be totally... So yeah, this soup is done. And like I said, I didn't want to mix it while it was in the last 10 minutes because I wanted my tuna to remain chunky in the soup. So yeah guys, that's what it looks like. It's semi-thick, semi-not thick. Going to be filling just the same. It's going to be filling because there's lots of protein, lots of lentil. Tuna is a lot of protein. Plus, you have your dumplings and all your other things to make fillers.
So there we have it, a nice protein dense, nutritious soup that isn't hard to make and very easy to enjoy. I'm glad you came for the experience and I hope you try this yourself. Bye for now.
It can't cook. Think you know you pay your pretty look. You want to live a restaurant and come done man bank book.